SHELDRAKE-5?
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
Danger zone!
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Well...
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything.
We
But
are
not
on a
here.
time crunch,
Let's
Junpei.
move to the top floor.
Wait, did we even take the book?
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the Nonary Game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did.
So the rule doesn't apply to her? Or if Santa is Zero, then he can't know if anyone says it anyway unless he's there.
Yeah, so it's just a, like, I guess it was a
general threat because you don't know who I am or who's watching you.
Yeah.
But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
Is she still here?
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth.
What if she blows up?
Yeah, like, also, like, what tipped you off you could trust me? The fact that I'm, like, literally the protagonist?
How did you know?
Yeah.
Did you read the script too?
The chance that Santa is Zero is very high.
Wow.
I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. And the girl that died during the experiment. She told you all that, did she? At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
Is who did this and why, right?
yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido.
How'd you remember those names?
Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Hi, Ace.
Damn, Ace is looking super fly. Ace looks way better in a suit than a turtleneck. But he's also wearing his same fucking coat.
So left guy is 9, second guy is Ace, third guy is the guy that gets killed by Ace, face blindness, and fourth guy is Captain.
Yep.
Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division.
And he apparently used to cut his hair.
He used to also, like, slick it down, is what it looks
straighten
like.
it all.
Yeah.
He had like didn't he have like a poof?
Yeah, he had like a fro.
Yeah.
Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research.
How does
All in all, they gathered 10 people or so.
that even work?
What?
Like every story always has, it was like, they gathered a top secret team of people. And it's like, what, they just put a job application on fucking Craigslist and asked people to show
Well,
up?
no, it's probably a top secret team of people from within their company.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you can't...
Like how you work on a secret project at Apple and stuff like that.
But there's nothing that really, like, binds you.
Your job.
Oh no! If my job involves me killing children that are kidnapped illegally, I maybe not want to hold that job.
Listen, Andrew. Dystopian.
Dystopian what? Nevada?
Yes, dystopian. Dystopian fiction, Andrew.
Like, how much more would the government pay you to find out about this experiment than the company's paying you for the experiment?
I don't think they pay you for whistleblowing, do they?
They would if you whistle blew the fact that they were literally kidnapping children, putting them on a boat, and one of them in a facility in a different country. Like, they're literally exporting children to a different country. I think that might be...
That is child trafficking at that point, isn't it?
That's a huge tip-off. That could probably get you a lot of money.
Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The
what?
purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will.
Wouldn't that mean there was
The
only 9 people in each
vessel,
group?
I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results.
Wait, why does he know all this?
Yeah, he knows all the stories that everyone's told anybody.
Yeah, wait, what
while
the
being here.
Fuck, that's weird.
It really highlights how contrived it is that every single story that anyone randomly felt like telling us in any of the rooms over the course of the entire game is literally the plot of the game.
Did you read the script too, Snake?
Did you read the script too?
The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before.
That just might mean it's an easy question.
Yeah, it also might mean you just cherry-picked your answers. Like, you could have easily cherry-picked your data and only picked people who guessed the right answer, but
the
ignored...
examples we were given for the dog question were just bad science, because there was no control group, and it was a really bad data gathering, and none of it would stand up as an actual piece of evidence.
Yeah, like, there's never been, like, an actual... Because you can't do that. You literally cannot confirm that kind of hypothesis on any level that's, like, held...
Not by just, like, testing twice and being like, whoa, the number was higher the second time. Obviously, this was the cause. I'll just... As opposed to, like, random chance or something.
But I'm saying, like, how do you do that in an internet era? Someone's gonna say something...
It fails to account for any, like, margin for error.
Yeah.
Because like, if you make the same test over and over again with 0 changes happening, you will get different answers. Like if you ask 100 people a question and you get a percentage answer of like what the result was, you go somewhere else and ask 100 people again. Every single time the answer is going to be different, the overall result, just because it's just that's what a margin for error is. There's a variability from groups to groups in general. And so without a whole bunch of tests over several populations over and over again, you can't come up with a consistent answer or establish a margin for error or really anything like that. And then you need like a control group. Like you need a bunch of steps to take to even tell whether or not a change actually happened.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, I asked Anna one thing and I asked Elisa another thing and she gave a different answer. She must be psychic. It's like, I asked 2 people and something changed. It's magic.
I mean, at the same time, even if you wanted data like that, you can't just get it from the same generation. You need, like, if you want to check if that data, that information is being transferred over, your best bet would be to take it multiple generations, because then it shows that it's no longer just a thing that was learned; it's a thing that's now a part of society.
There's just a huge amount of stuff that would go into a peer-reviewed study compared to what was essentially like wasn't like a radio host.
It was a TV thing. It was a TV contest.
Yeah, like so, like it was
where they asked like a bunch of people.
It was completely non-responsive.
Yeah. Because it was like they showed people in a different country a picture of a thing and told them what it was, and then went to a completely different country and showed them the picture privately and asked them what it was, and that like the guess was,
at that point there's so many variables that would explain why potentially the value changed, and also the change was so small that it was within any reasonable margin of error that just the entire thing is pointless, and the fact that people lean on it like it means anything is totally ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, welcome to science.
That's not welcome to science. It's welcome to like thinly written mystery stories.
Yeah, but a huge portion of a lot of scientific research is done that way too. A lot of it's done like really shitty.
No.
A lot of the popular stuff you know of is usually shitty science that's never been proven. A lot of the really proven
This kind
science,
of really bad science is how you end up with that one study that made people think that vaccines cause autism, which was a guy that like has been completely ejected from all scientific communities at this point, and his doctorate was revoked, and the paper was taken down and disproven thousands of times.
That's what I'm saying. But like, that's the thing. There's a lot of those instances where like, yeah, one dude could be like a fucking lunatic. I mean,
and the whole point of a lot of the system is to specifically avoid those things happening by having peer review and having a bunch of other people involved. Like when you want to publish, you don't just like write shit down and publish it, and there's no steps to go through.
There are steps, or there are some journals that don't require you to have steps if you pay the money, and they get published, and those published fucking journals can then get picked up by the media because they are officially published journals, even though they have
the media ruins everything, because it'll be like, we're beginning a study of something, and they'll be like, we are reporting on the result of this, and I'm like, they haven't even started the study yet. They're literally like talking about starting a study, and they're going for funding, and the media is like, scientists have found this thing. I'm like, they didn't even do the study.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, that's like, remember,
learn to read.
You remember like back like a couple months, maybe it was last year.
As somebody that's had to do presentations based on actual research papers, the total lack of standards that media has for reporting studies is the most infuriating.
Well, you can tell by like fucking, if you look up anything related to dieting, you're gonna see a million different studies that have no basis and no claims in scientific. Like,
I mean, a lot of those are just literally fake doctors. Like, just
they're fake doctors, but they're
like they're doctors. They don't have doctorates.
But a lot of them are actual posted journals that they're grabbing this information from. Like when people say like, you could do a chocolate diet. Why? Because one dude said that he ate a fuck ton of chocolate and lost weight? Yeah, because he probably ate nothing else, and that's why he was losing weight.
He pooped out his liver.
Yeah, like, but I'm saying like that is a common problem that you can just like there are shady journals that will publish anything if you pay them money, and that in itself is a bad thing, because the moment it's published and the media can pick it up, tell people then believe it because it was published, the media told me. And then it becomes a fucking thing that people keep saying. Like, people keep saying, don't crack your knuckles, it causes fucking arthritis. Shut up, grandma, you didn't read that in a fucking book because it's never been published in one. Who told you that? Some fucking news reporter that read it in a fucking document somewhere in a shady fucking journal? Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's not stuff you can necessarily actually attribute to scientific journals of any kind. That's often just, like, weird wives' tales or shit that just makes it into people's popular fictions just somehow, like... swallowing spiders, or the daddy long legs being like so venomous and whatnot. Even
Or
if they
the
don't have
idea,
things.
or the idea that like,
Or like a Snapple cap that was wrong is a genuine source of like actual rumors throughout society sometimes.
or maybe the idea that someone once showed a picture on TV and then asked people in a different area and they gave the same result even though they were in a different area. That sounds like a wives' tale. Can you prove it with a paper? No, you can't. Shut the fuck up. Get on my face. Why is this game so bad at writing?
Like, we've gone way. We got to keep going.
Let Snake continue.
This tangent's going for too long.
Is it?
Yeah.
Comparatively to everything else that's been going on too long in this game? Is it?
Why is that? How could it happen?
Magic.
The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Ganzfeld experiment?
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Ganzfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project.
It's almost identical to what happens at the beginning of what happens in Starship Troopers, Ghostbusters, Beyond Two Souls. When they're testing the cards with the little girl and stuff like that.
Yep.
Same basic ideas.
The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9.
One in Japan and one in Nevada.
Yep.
The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting.
I wonder if the idea is going to be that Snake from his confined coffin was supposed to transmit to Clover to get her to do things or something.
They were
Maybe.
transferred to the mock experiment building
Well, he
known
said he
as
just
Building
woke
Q
up.
in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary Game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown.
Why? It just bothers me they waste so much money on the Gigantic. Just for like they could just be in like a room or like really anything cheaper than the Gigantic. Like that's one of the most contrived parts about this. If you just buy into all the fantasy, pseudoscience, telepathy and stuff, I'm just like, but why the Gigantic? Just why?
I'm more confused why they they detonated a bomb on the Gigantic, but we're using it again now? So did it, even though it didn't sink, did they fix
I forgot, it's been a while since we covered this. Were we in the Gigantic again in this game, or are we in the other sister ship?
I think we're in the Gigantic.
It's been a while, I don't remember. That was covered like a month ago for us.
Because there's only the Titanic and the Gigantic.
There wasn't a third ship?
Maybe there was, but
Maybe,
I remember our ship started with a G.
Yeah, it's just weird to me that they insist on using this ridiculously huge ship for this.
Those were his orders.
By the way, I know we talk a lot and interrupt a lot and stuff like that, but regardless, our 90-minute time limit started over 2 hours ago. So I'm sure a percentage of that is our fault, but still, I'm I don't know how much time they really have to finish this, even if I was just hitting A constantly this whole time. Seems like the amount of talking they would not be able to get through without dying.
Yeah.
Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely?
NASA?
It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical.
Yes?
Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, They reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Well, I guess they succeeded because you lived. So that's good news.
Well,
I
one
guess.
person died, though.
Yeah, that's less than have died so far here.
No, only one person died.
So far, 3 people have died here.
Only one person in the group died.
Yeah, the 3 people have died here still.
Those people were inconsequential and were going to die regardless.
We don't even know how Zero died. Or Cap.
He got killed by an axe.
By...
I'm assuming Zero?
He is behind a code?
He left his fucking name on the monitors.
It's just confusing because he was behind a numbered door. So it's like, how did that work?
A number door that was set up by Zero.
So like, how long did that guy get killed then? Has he just been rotting there for like days?
He's been rotting there since they all got aboard the ship.
That's a long time.
I'm assuming Zero literally went on like a Santa Claus and captured everybody.
On a Santa Claus.
Yeah, he went to everyone's house on the same night and captured all of them and then brought them to the ship. And then I'm assuming he just like killed the old guy because he's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit about this guy. Just killed him immediately.
He is the only one that there wasn't like a clever trap for or anything. There's no ironic death for him. He's just like, kill him.
Yeah.
You get to be in this room for some reason.
Yeah, well, because he had a Zero bracelet on. So he needed to look like someone had come in and killed Zero. I guess it was all part of the plan? I don't know. I don't know what about the other number 2 guy. That's a fucking weird... It's more weird that, like...
The really contrived face blindness death?
But it's more weird that Snake, or that Santa knows that the CEO has face...
He's probably been just stalking him nonstop for his revenge and just researching him and stuff.
I feel like it's not something he goes around telling people.
No, but he's probably been just watching him obsessively, like in real life even potentially, and just picking up on the evidence that he has this problem. Shadow White.
Huh. Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Oh, wow, I just realized this entire extended side story is completely separate from the part where we actually figure out what the book does that opens the door, where we're going to die super soon.
Yes.
It's a genuine problem right now.
God, I hope we die super soon.
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a Nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but... Are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was Akane.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh my god.
You mean...
Connie?
But she died. Wait, what?
But then she got revived by the IS-9 mummy or something, I don't know. What?
So the Aoi is Santa.
You think Aoi is June's brother?
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're in this together.
Could be, yeah. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna hold them at gunpoint.
They're the only two with fake bracelet numbers.
Yeah? And they're just siblings the entire time, like it's all a trick?
Yeah.
2 sets of siblings, and no one recognizes each other at all.
How would they? They've all aged. It was like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how fucking Junpei and Connie recognize each other, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, nobody else... I mean, Snake and Clover, neither of them realize, like, hey, that's the CEO of fucking the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, neither of them put it together that it was the people that put them through it 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Making the whole attempted murder pointless on Ace's part. By the way, Ace being a murderer, still don't know that in the storyline.
No.
But let's just keep wasting those 90 minutes with these long talks.
Well, we know that he's a murderer by proxy, because he's the CEO of the pharmaceutical company that
We don't know that.
Huh?
We don't know that's Ace.
Oh, right, because we never found the note.
Yeah, we have no idea that Ace is a bad guy yet in the storyline.
That was the girl who died.
Hey, they did it at the right time this time, Andrew.
Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? Then, who is June? No. That's impossible. It can't be true.
Did he say the
Akane
last
isn't
name?
that uncommon of a name. If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything. It was someone else. Of course it was. It has to be.
But of course it's not actually. The story.
Twist!
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright?
Junpei is being pretty selfish, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he's like, God damn it, I'm sick of your bullshit. Share all this information with me. But he's not sharing the fact that that June's name is Akane. And he's not sharing the fact that he hasn't seen her in all the years since around that time. And he's not sharing the fact that he had an epiphany, which is how he got Snake out of the coffin. And he's just keeping all these details to himself while being like, you're not being upfront about things. And I'm like, fucking hypocrite,
Didn't we discuss this already? Junpei is literally
He's
like
such a hypocrite.
He's like the smartest, stupidest person on this entire ship.
Like, what if there's a bunch of important information that could be gained with these people that seem to trust you if you actually talk to them?
And it's just
like
Snake.
They're doing.
It's just Snake you have to talk to.
Because apparently Clover was cool, it's just not coming to. Maybe they're solving the puzzle that we're just neglecting right now.
What? Pick up the book! Like, that's all we had left to do.
Yeah, but when you open it, there's probably stuff inside, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
I couldn't do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Ask it right now.
Why don't you just wait until you see her next time and go like, hey, are you the Akane that died 9 years ago?
SHELDRAKE-5. Is that the exact one? Wait, is that the one I was clicking on already?
Yes.
That's weird.
Why?
I think I clicked on it before it even told me. It's a morphogenic field! Other people have played this game for years, so I just zeroed in on SHELDRAKE-5 for no reason. Sheldrake, that's it. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? It's why I clicked on 5.
Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume.
That's what I clicked on. Well, would you look at that? There's a big red button behind this book. If only we had considered just moving all the books out of the way. Or reading that very readable thing to get here in the first... I guess we should push this button. This is an example of, this is simultaneously the shittiest escape room in the game and the coolest idea for an escape room in the game.
Go on.
If I did a real escape room where I lined up books and they matched together to spell something in shadows, that'd be really cool.
Yes.
But as a video game escape room so far, we clicked on a bunch of random shit until we had a bunch 3 bulbs to get an answer we already had to just click on a book, and that was the whole escape room as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It was the single worst escape room of the game. Like, got it?
This had elements that would be great in other puzzle rooms.
Yeah. Or a thing that'd be really
What
cool in a
the
real escape room
fuck?
if it wasn't spoiled by the image already being there before you click on it.
What?
Yeah. I don't know
where did the other book... Wait, did they close the door that we came through?
Yeah. There was a big empty spot where there was no books.
Okay, because I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
What was that sound?
What?
There's no ceiling here, Clover. You could just see it.
How the fuck did you not see the books move?
Yeah, everyone would have looked up and saw, whoa, the whole room's moving.
No, we just looked at only the button. It sounded like something really big was moving.
It came from the top floor. All right, let's go check it out. Then none of them looked up. None of them just looked up.
Well, I see how you guys got stuck in the Nonary game.
Yeah. Well, there's less roof than open space. Even this part of the roof is grating. Everyone would have seen it immediately. All right, fine.
Fine.
Ba-da-da-dum. Hello. What's that say? Okay. 13, 14, 10, 13.
Oh, here.
You should write stuff down, yeah, just in
I have
case.
to write stuff down. Here.
What are you doing?
Tell me what they are again.
13, 14,
hold on.
10, 13.
13. So, 13.
Are you translating it into
Yeah.
letters? Well, I mean, you should also just write it down just in case. It might just be a code we need, period.
I am. 13.
13, 14, 10, 13. You know Roman numerals?
Yeah. I just can't read it.
You can't read it?
No.
What do you mean you can't read it?
Dead.
Your glasses are on.
Glasses are on?
I don't know
Is that a
why.
matter of I didn't say I can't see it, I said I can't read it.
Wait, that means you don't know Roman numerals.
I know Roman numerals. I can't read them together.
What?
I just have trouble reading them together.
What does that mean?
So I know X is 10, and I know one line equals 1, and I know a V is 5, but seeing them together, I can't think about it properly.
So you don't know what X111 would be? Or
Well,
X14?
and now I know it's 13 because you told me what it is.
Okay.
But I'm saying when I first looked at it, I couldn't translate what the numbers were, except for the 10.
Well, I bet that you've got to type something on that keyboard. Yeah, but you can only enter letters. And it looks like you only enter 4 letters. Let's see how it works. I guess you need to enter once you type the letters. And you can erase them when you typed clear. Okay, I'll get the basic operations. Let's give it a shot.
So D is just dead.
Boing.
Good thing we wrote that down a long time ago.
Hint. Oh, there we go.
It's still,
Click.
it's still actually not a good hint. Unless you know the...
Yay! You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now.
Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good.
So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on. We got to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up.
Speaking of old ladies, I wonder what old lady's waiting for us behind the door.
I don't think it does explain Roman numerals to you. That's interesting.
Why would it explain Roman numerals to you?
Because this is a game that feels the need to explain how calculators work. Like it's a game about opening locks and typing in codes, but every time you type in a code, it has to re-explain to you again how typing in codes works.
I think their assumption...
But it expects you to already know Roman numerals and how they work.
I think the difference is like the calculator is a mechanic of the game, but Roman numerals is a puzzle, and it doesn't need to explain that puzzle to you because...
Even then I find it weird because I just feel like they would explain how a calculator works in the first room and then just assume you got it at that point, but they re-explain it for the entire playthrough. Even though figuring that kind of thing out would be a puzzle too, if you somehow didn't know it. Alright, let's get this thing open.
Did you pick the right door?
I don't know. It just clicked on one of them and we went out. There's 2 doors over. This seems like an important choice. Click.
Alright, this is the next...
Oh, the door!
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
I don't know. Let's see. Damn it. It looks like it locks automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door over on the right. There's a card reader next to it.
Oh no, we're in a trash compactor. R2, shut off the trash compactor!
It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
Hey! Wait a minute! Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Get started, you have like 10 minutes before you die.
Oh, man.
Looks that way.
No way!
Wait, that clutter's not even dense. It's like a
Well,
small pile of crap.
I don't think it's in the clutter.
Oh, hey, they're Reds and Deads.
Yeah, the Reds and Deads and a mannequin head.
Yeah. It's relatively small amounts of clutter, and there's 4 of us. Well, 3 blind people and 3 people and a blind person.
One blind person, Jesus.
What
a shitty
3
Nonary
blind
game.
rats. Yeah, that'd be. Oh god, if everyone was blind, it'd be a very different game.
For real?
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer. I rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card.
It does rank pretty high on the list of like, just, hey, stop bitching and just start working or you'll die.
Yeah.
Things like, oh no, we have to search this whole room?
Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it.
How much are you supposed to cover in the last 90 minutes of this?
Wait, didn't someone else go through
Nonary
this
game?
way?
No, they went through the other 9 door.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the previous ending we got, didn't someone else go through this doorway?
In the other ending, yeah, we somehow ended up at the furnace instead.
No, we went through the main door.
Yeah, and that somehow led to a furnace.
Ace and Lotus went through the fucking small door. They went through this door that we went through.
But they might have had a different key or key card that led them somewhere else. This is what's confusing about 9, is that when you go through the 9 door, it opens up to like a whole chunk of the ship that has a bunch of key cards and keys everywhere. So it's kind of hard to tell, and like without carefully studying and plotting out the entire map to tell every single path, it's kind of hard to tell how this game's structured at this point.
Well, good thing we only killed the guy who set it all up. Like...
All right then, let's begin.
Well, you
Boy.
get 2 puzzle rooms.